So today I'm going to ask a question,
Okay.
and I got this from my brother Craig because we were having some silly conversation.
At some point we'll do a one with Craig too. I'm excited for that.
Yes,
That'll be fun.
because he's a hoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll take it up a notch as far as goofiness goes.
Yeah.
But so the question he had for me, which I'm going to turn it on you, is what animal, wild animal, could you submit or defeat in a cage match?
In a cage match.
And the first couple of ones he brought up to me were interesting. He said,
Okay.
You think you could submit or whoop a kangaroo in a cage match?
Okay.
Because you've seen those kangaroos, right?
Yeah.
And they're pretty rough characters. And I told him I'm going to put myself in my prime, like,
Okay, so
28 years old or something.
Not 58.
Because
50-year-old
I think
Kyle.
a kangaroo, I know they can use their tail and kick you, but I don't think they have the dexterity to move left to right.
Yeah.
So I was shifty enough I could take out a kangaroo.
I feel like I could take out a kangaroo too.
Yeah.
And my tactic would be to get behind it.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
Get behind it, and then I think if I got my arms around it, I could
choke it out.
No, not choke it out. I'm saying lock it up so its arms are to its side like this.
Yeah.
And then I would just be kidney kneeing it or something like that.
So you just throw the knees to the kidney.
Yeah.
Until the kangaroo.
Because it's all legs, right?
It's legs and a big old giant thick tail too.
Yeah.
So you got to count for the tail. And I don't know if they can use the tail as a weapon. Is that something they do?
I don't know.
I think they use.
Well, have you seen that video of that dude that cold cocks that kangaroo?
That's why this is a great question.
Have you seen that video?
I haven't seen it, but Craig was telling me about it.
Yeah. So there's a video.
Does he knock the kangaroo out?
No.
Okay.
But this guy, a kangaroo, is bothering his dog, right?
Yeah.
And so the guy runs over there, and
when he says you say he's bothering the dog, is he?
Like the kangaroo is like grabbing the dog, like it's angry with the dog or something.
It wants to.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the guy runs over there and he goes, "Oi!" And he just hooks him.
Yeah.
And the kangaroo goes like
kind of staggers.
Yeah.
Okay. See, and that's what I think. Would be my advantage too.
Sure.
I don't think I would try to get my hands on him. I think I would just be very shifty, back and forth, move to dance to the side, left hook till the kangaroo.
You're gonna float like a butterfly on him or something. You doofus, man.
So here's another one. So I think
you're gonna Lomachenko him.
Yeah,
get out of here, dude.
I am, but I think that's.
I think that it's, because there's different animals, right?
Yeah,
and you hear about like a crocodile has a ton of force going down,
yeah,
but no force going up.
Right. So let's say a crocodile's in a cage with you. Could you submit a crocodile?
Are we in a swamp or am I?
No, you're just in a cage, like a pretty big cage, and you could get around behind it. I mean, you could even climb up the side of the cage and launch yourself onto his back or whatever the case may be. Do you think you could take? Let's say it's a how big is the crocodile? Not a giant one, right? And would a crocodile really be aiming itself at you
I'm
the whole time?
looking off into the middle distance because I'm trying to strategize how I would take on a crocodile, right?
That's the point.
Because like I said, I got to get its mouth to go down.
Right. Yeah, and you don't have any weapons.
And I'm thinking, do I try to get behind him? But I've seen videos of crocodiles, they whip in an instant backwards. And so I'm like, maybe getting behind him's not the move. So I'm like, how do I
poke his eyes out? How would you submit him? You can't choke him out.
You got to submit him, yeah. No,
or knock him out.
But what I'm saying is like, you'd have to get his mouth to close.
Okay.
And then at that point, I think I've seen videos of trainers that can just hold their mouth closed like this
with
like
one hand.
Yeah. Yeah, because like I said,
I don't know about 2 fingers, but
sure.
I hear what you're saying.
My 2 fingers. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
I'm just picturing you. What'd I say?
Yeah. Yeah. See you later. By the way, I don't know the difference between an alligator and a crocodile. There might be some fanatic that's watching this like, these guys don't know what the crap they're talking about,
Yeah. We don't.
No, I don't. Yeah. But that's my strat. I'd have to get him to close his mouth so then I can, and then once I've got his mouth closed and I can hold it down myself, maybe.
And then you could
maybe start Larry and Curly and him. Boink, 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 I don't know.
Yeah.
Do alligators have nuts I can kick?
Kick an alligator?
Yeah. Right in the handbags?
So your plan is to kick an alligator, but I think that
do they have exposed
I don't know,
testicles?
But would you kick a
Sound
kangaroo?
off in the comments. Do alligators have exposed testicles?
Would you kick a kangaroo in the pouch,
I don't know.
Or in the nuts, the kangaroos have nuts hanging down too? And do they? Is it the same effect as it is on me and you?
You know what's funny is in an alternate world there are two gorillas having the same conversation, and they're like, "Well, humans just have sagging testicles. We could take, They're like that. No one.
They wouldn't know though because we're always dressed. Hey, you thinking?
I don't know.
You think
If the gorillas have access to the internet, they would know.
And they're looking at naked men
Two perv gorillas.
slapping each other laughing.
Yeah, that's a question. Do you think that a baboon's red butt is as tender as our testicles? Do you think
I don't. You think?
I don't know. It looks so vulnerable, doesn't it?
It does look vulnerable. But I don't know the answer to that question. I don't even want to dive into that.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I don't know where that whole thing's going to go.
Let's get down to brass tacks, right? Obviously,
What about a deer in a cage match? Could you take a deer? The monkey depends on the size, right?
Well, yeah, in a cage match because a deer can't get away from me.
Right. But
It's
also
enclosed, right?
It's also got its horns in it, and it might rear up on its back legs to like.
Yeah, but they got little
do.
chicken legs. They're not going to hit me that hard. I'd be more worried about the antlers.
Yeah.
Do deer use their antlers to impale like predators?
I think they use them as weapons against each other.
Against each other. Yeah, that's true.
So I would assume they'd try to use it on you.
That's true. But what I wanted to say, brass tacks, the bear, gorilla, tiger, those are off the table. Ain't no way.
No. Yeah, you're right about that. You're right. We'd have the question is if you get to the smaller cougar off the table too. Any big
totally.
Cat. So what size of a cat?
Dude, honestly, a house cat.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I mean, but a house cat, you would think if you grabbed it, somehow got it behind this, and it could scratch you and bite you like crazy.
Yeah. We're not advocating animal abuse, by the way.
No.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just a hypothetical.
Hypothetical, yeah.
But if a cat attacked you, I think I could win, but I'd be getting messed up pretty bad. I mean, same with a lot of these animals, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but if
we're not coming out unscratched.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
So what size cat is the tipping point before you're in real trouble? Is it a bobcat? Because the bobcats are nasty and quick. They're lightning quick.
I think anything.
But how would they submit you? They'd have to go for your jugular or,
Yeah, I think anything above a house cat, honestly.
Yeah.
Because
cats are
bad
to the
gnarly.
bone.
Yeah.
What about a
an ocelot? Whatever.
I was
you're about to pull out something wild.
I was thinking about an ostrich.
Oh, I would smoke an ostrich in a second, dude.
See, I'm not so sure because I hear an ostrich can crack a lion's skull with its kick. And they're tall too. All you'd have to really do is get a hold of its neck.
Who said that?
I read it somewhere. I don't know if it's...
How do they kick? One-legged kick?
Yeah.
It's not like they're doing break dance and getting up on their head and kicking or something.
A spinning back kick from an ostrich would not...
Oh, yeah, friggin' Bruce Lee ostrich over here. Yeah. Friggin' karate ostrich. Yeah, Karate Kid ostrich.
It's not... Yeah. With his neck?
They ain't...
Did I just do an ostrich face?
I don't know what you did, man. But they're not going to friggin'... They're not going to Daniel LaRusso me or anything. Like, they're not...
See, I think I could take an ostrich,
You tell me it's not crane style, it's ostrich style? Plus, like I said, an ostrich is all neck.
Yeah.
Right? And I think anywhere along that meter or whatever is...
I hear you there. And we won't go to the well, but that's probably the only bird. Well, no, because you imagine a hawk or something gets its talons in you, it could mess you up quick.
Yeah, I bet you too that like hawks, those predatory birds, they know to go for eyes and orifices first.
Orifices? Is that what you just said? Yeah. Eyes and orifices?
Yeah.
Besides the eyes, which would be the orifice they would go after?
I just wanted to sneak that word in there. I thought you might think it was funny.
What about a Wolverine or a badger? No, there's no question. We're in trouble, right?
Yeah.
They would kill us.
Yeah.
Just through grit alone, right? Like.
Yeah. Plus, it's the exact opposite of an ostrich. It's got no neck. I don't know where to ring at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And how would you kill it?
Yeah.
How do you? Yeah. There's no way to choke it or. I mean,
you'd have to get it by the tail and like club it or something. You know what I mean? Yeah. Any of those like small.
But if you tried to punch it, it might do a.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What movie is that from? Oh, from Ace Ventura.
Major Cough.
Yeah. He catches it right there. Yeah.
And I would imagine that would be a
I don't
bad
think I
idea.
could right hook a badger. I would have to get it by the tail and club it or something.
Well, are they in the mongoose family? Because I know mongoose are lightning quick. They fight snakes.
Well, mongooses like kill cobras in India.
That's what I'm saying. Could you take a mongoose? Because they're pretty small, but you ain't hitting it. You'd have to wait till it hit you, and then try to do something with it. A mongoose.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because what I don't imagine happening is a mongoose getting on my hand and then being able to scurry around me like a you know what I mean? Because you know what I mean? Like Tom and Jerry style, where Tom is like dish, 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 like this, and he's going through them.
Like whack-a-mole. You wouldn't be doing that.
No, as soon as it got on me,
on you?
At that point I can grab. It's not going to be able to get away from me once it's on me, and I can grab it and do what I needed to do with it, right?
Sling it or whatever. Throw it against the fence or smash it, stomp it. See, that brings up dogs
because I think a mongoose, when it's against a snake, it's got that tearing deal.
Right.
But it can't do that to me.
Right. A snake doesn't have 2 legs.
A
and 2
badger
arms.
could do that whole ripping move to me. I think
probably tear your throat out pretty quick.
Well, I mean, even if it got a hold of my arm, my hand would be gone.
Yeah, it could.
You know what I mean?
Bleed you out pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what about? Let's talk about levels of dogs, because we know, Chihuahua don't stand a chance.
No, I'm punting that thing 30
yards.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah. Anything that's like 50 pounds or less doesn't have a chance.
Yeah.
No matter how aggressive it is, right?
Yeah.
Because you're just going to kick the thing or just.
Yeah.
Once it bites you and it holds on, you're just going to beat it to smithereens. But
yeah.
At what level does a dog? Obviously wolf size. That's
no way. Yeah.
You're not defeating a wolf. 1-on-1 though, could you defeat a wolf? You know what? You couldn't.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
wolf,
so,
no.
So the episode or the there was a movie where a guy grabbed a wolf and held it down and shoved a tracker down its throat so that it could get shot by the government. That was
the heck is that movie?
It's a movie where
I know there's a movie where Liam Neeson takes on a pack of wolves, but he's got bottles, sharded brass knuckles.
I saw
on him.
the first half of that.
Yeah.
God, it was frightening, man.
Yeah, I was
The
scared.
Gray, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Holy crap, that was not a good movie to watch.
That was scary, huh?
Yeah, I believe I don't go camping because I think
the
the wilderness is out to kill you.
Because you took all tools away, right?
Yeah, you can't really have any tools.
Okay.
But
By the way, you haven't seen The Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio?
No, I haven't. But doesn't he get attacked by a bear in that?
And that thing messes him up.
But it doesn't kill him.
It's that's the whole point of the movie. It's a movie. It's a triumph of survival. You know what I mean? That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
But it not for lack of trying. It just ends up. It leaves him with an inch, and that inch is just because it took off before it realized it was done. You know what kind of thing?
Yeah. Okay. Well, the movie I'm thinking of where the wolf attacks the guy it's that franchise where the guy's an assassin and he forgets who he is.
Bourne.
Jason Bourne.
Yeah.
But it's the one where they have the different guy being Jason Bourne.
Okay, the other actor.
Remember at the beginning?
Yeah.
When he realizes he's got a tracker and he realizes the government's trying to kill him and he's out in the woods, and so he sticks his tracker into a wolf.
Oh, so it scurries.
So it scurries off, and they think they killed the wolf with the drone.
Gotcha.
So they don't even think he's alive.
Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah.
But that's a point where he cuts
You know what, though?
himself.
If I remember in that movie, I don't think that wolf was as big as wolves are.
I don't think it was a...
Right, because that's something I've realized. Every time I picture a wolf, I picture like a husky dog. But they're way bigger than that.
Oh, yeah. A lot of them are,
so
for
much
sure.
bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't fight alone either. I don't think they attack you alone.
Yeah.
So, you're probably out of luck. But the question is, at what point, like a dingo, I think a dingo is a 50-pound or less dog, not a big dog.
Here's the question, though.
So
when you jump from domesticated dog to non-domesticated dog, is there
of course,
like a crackhead switch in them that makes them more vicious?
I think even domesticated dogs, if they're feel
attacked,
threatened,
they go back into fight mode.
Oh
pretty quickly.
I don't think they ever lose that animal in them.
Yeah.
So a pit bull, that's
pit bull, German Shepherd, any of those kinds of dogs, no way.
Right.
But what about like a golden retriever that's just kind of like a happy-go-lucky kind of feeding it,
I don't know. I mean, do they still have the dog in them?
I've never seen a golden retriever growl at anybody.
You think it would just submit? if it was in a cage match with a golden retriever, it would just come over and let you pet it.
No, I don't think that. But I wonder how much. You
How
also
much
got to
fight.
think about bite strength too.
Yeah, how much fight it
Right.
has in it.
Obviously, a domesticated dog can go back into animal mode as quickly as it need.
Right.
But do they have the bite strength to do as much damage as they
Yeah,
need?
that's
because they also don't have claws on their hands that
Right.
do. That's where a cat gets gnarly, right?
They got one weapon. Dogs do.
Is their
Right,
mouth.
right.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of why it's. So here, I got a story for you about my dad one time.
Okay.
We showed up. We were getting our car fixed, and it was at this, kind of a junky car lot, and we show up a little early to get the car, and you know how they have some big guard dogs that'll guard these, and sure enough, the guy opens the door or the gate, and this big. It looked like, to me, I was younger,
Yeah.
so to me it looked like a pit bull or one of those kind of dogs.
Yeah.
And it came running out at my dad, and my dad was kind of fearless.
Was it
in
the
my
dog
mind.
from the Naked Gun movie we watched the other night?
I don't remember that dog. No,
They're
it
like
was,
black dogs with some
No,
brown
no,
in them
yeah.
that have these ears that point. I don't know what kind of dog it is. They're always the bad guys.
That's
in
a Doberman
cartoons.
Pinscher.
A Doberman Pinscher. Okay.
Did we say
yeah.
that right? Is a Doberman Pinscher?
Pinscher? Yeah.
Pinscher.
Yeah. There's always like in Oliver and Company. There's
Right,
always
right.
two of them that
Right.
are.
Right. Or a Rottweiler is the other one they always use.
Sure. Yeah.
No, it wasn't one of those, but it kind of looked like a smaller pit bull. It wasn't a dog you wanted to mess with.
Sure.
But my dad saw it coming, and he kind of leaned back as the dog lunged, and he kicked it right under the chin with his boots. He had some work boots on.
Yeah.
And that dog made a big giant yelp and hightailed it out of there, and the owner was ticked, boy.
Yeah.
And my dad said, "You shouldn't let that dog
Don't let it come
running
at me.
Yeah.
One time when I was living in Argentina, we had dogs running up on us all the time.
Right.
And they don't have a pound service there too.
Yeah.
So we were stepping in dog crap once a day,
Why'd you-
every other day. Right?
You just had to add that to the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd like slip on it. Like you go, and you're like, come on, man. I'm not kidding.
Just in the streets.
Yeah.
You're walking
It was
down the
awful.
Especially after dark and you can't see it
It's
coming.
awful, man. It was the worst. And they don't have none of their sidewalks are level there either. So you'd kick into one slab of it.
I got
And
you.
you do that move where you'd land on the other foot and you're like, dadgum,
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, we were riding our bikes one day and there was this little yap dog that was barking at us.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy I was riding with was ahead of me and it barked at him and then it ran over at me. It started running and it would always, every time we run by there, it would come like yip at our feet, right?
Right.
But this time it was feeling courageous or something. I don't know what
Yeah,
the
yeah.
deal was. So it runs at me and you can see it running and then it goes and does kind of like a swan dive at me kind of
Jump.
deal.
Okay.
Yeah. And it latched right onto my
Are
thigh.
you serious? It was.
Yep. And it hit my thigh and I remember going and punching it right down on the head, right?
Yeah.
And that's the sound it made too, by the way. That just hit myself on the thigh.
Yeah, you need to get your.
Yeah, I hurt myself. Anyway, I went, because it scared me. I was like, ha!
Right,
And I
and you
punched
just
it,
react.
right? And then it fell off, and I think I got one more little like kick at it on the way
Right,
down,
right.
but
Did it keep chasing you even
no,
still?
it took off after that.
Okay, well.
So
go ahead.
back to the conversation at hand. That's another thing you got to wonder about domesticated dogs. If you get that one hit in on them, are they
Yeah.
going to want to keep fighting you?
Right.
Right?
And- yeah.
A non-domesticated dog will fight you.
Well, there's not a whole lot of non-domesticated dogs out there anymore.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Does
I
a
mean,
coyote kind of count? You
Well,
think you
that's
could
a
take
good question.
coyote?
Could you? In my prime, I think I might have been able to take a coyote. I know it's a wild animal, but they're just not big, and they're kind of mangy looking. And I don't
Yeah.
think they have great bite strength. And I just don't. I think I could throw a couple of hooks, and once it
Yeah.
got a hold of me, I think I could beat
Couple
it.
of hooks.
I think
I get
could
hit with a
beat-
3 combination. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I think.
Yeah, you're bobbing and weaving on it.
And
the
it's
dog,
like-
yeah, and the dog's like, what the heck is this? Yeah. Stupid. Stupid.
That's why it's a good.
If I can get a 3 combination hit on it, then it's over.
No, but I'm
Yeah.
saying that once it lunged at you,
Uh-huh.
I think you could take it out. I think with a really good solid punch to the head, you're knocking a coyote out. I would
Yeah.
suggest you could knock it out. You know.
Yeah, probably.
And I would
Yeah,
say that
I don't
with
know
a
if
lot
there
of
are
dogs.
I don't know if there are many dogs that I would be scared of except for a wolf, I think.
Yeah. Well, there's some. I mean, you're Rottweilers and.
Yeah, except for those.
Those
yeah,
bigger
I'm not
guard
doing
type
none of
dogs.
those.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think in a death situation, I think
To the death.
to the death. I bet you could take on a Doberman or one of those guys because they would just grab a hold. Now, I guess the pain, or maybe you could bleed out or something.
Yeah.
But I think
yeah.
if it was holding on and you just were beating it, trying to survive, I think it's a different animal then, right?
I don't think dogs get concussions the way that like humans do, though. I don't know if beating on its head would really do as much damage as you would think it would do.
I see what you're saying.
You know?
Yeah.
Because the idea is, if you can smack it in the head enough times, it'll finally go.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
it'll go. Huh?
But I don't think that dogs work that way. I think they can take a lot of head trauma.
So you might
This
have
is
to
so
go.
dumb, man. This is so dumb. Yeah.
So you might have to go for the eyes, and then.
I think that
head
would be
trauma.
the thing that would make it let go, probably. Yeah.
And if you could blind it, it couldn't see anymore. You could have it your way with it, but I mean,
such a wild
beat it.
Yeah.
Not your way with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Pause. Right.
So what about monkeys? There's a level of monkeys.
No, I don't
too.
know monkey whatsoever.
No monkey?
I don't. That's the one that I could see scurrying around my body and getting
Obviously, a
like
chimpanzee's going to jack
death
you up.
by 1,000 cuts kind of
Right,
deal.
right.
Like even the little like capuchins or whatever they're
You think
called.
a capuchin you couldn't handle?
I think it would scratch me here, and I'd go for it, and by the time I was ready, I think it would move quicker than I could, and it would.
So you think that's a whack-a-mole situation there? It's moving
I
so
think
fast.
that's the one that could cartoon scurry around my body. You know what I mean?
So that's a great question.
Yeah.
Could you take a capuchin in a cage match? I just think you could. They're so small, and we're such big people, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, and if you can handle yourself a little bit, and you're not just afraid of it.
Yeah.
It seems like you could grab a hold of it.
We share too much DNA with monkeys at all for me to want to go toe to toe with them, though.
That's
you know
true,
what I mean?
but yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying, and obviously chimpanzees, any of that kind of stuff.
Because they're so intelligent, I could see them
you
having these same conversations. Maybe not on camera, right? But I can see two
capuchins,
two orangutans sitting
Like, dude, I
around
could
going,
take that
"Hey,
dude."
what's the strategy if a human comes?"
So you're
after
saying
us?
you're over in Thailand, and they're sitting there watching you. You got a bag of food, and they're like, "Dude, that lady there, she won't fight back. I got her food quick."
Yeah.
And then the other one's like, "Dude, that guy right there, that food's mine.
Yeah.
He's gonna try to give me some food. I'm gonna take the whole bag."
Yeah, two dingoes ain't having conversations about how they would take a human if faced with it, but two orangutans definitely are.
Orangutans, they got them big long arms. Imagine
Yeah.
the reach on
I
them
don't,
suckers.
dude. I don't want to get in the ring with
No.
Dunstan, man.
Dunstan would mess you up.
Dunstan would wipe the floor with you, man.
Now that is a fight I would pay for. Dunstan against that
Paul brother.
Yeah. Hey,
But prime Dunstan.
make it happen,
Not
bro.
Dunstan now.
No,
'Cause
prime Dunstan.
That's all Paul wants to fight is past their prime. No, prime Dunstan.
old guys that are past
right?
their prime, or little bitty ones.
Dunstan the fourth, wherever
Yeah.
he is right now.
Right. Even if he's 125 pounds, I bet you Dunstan will whoop his rear end.
Yeah, 100%.
Put some gloves on Dunstan, get him in the ring.
No, dude, let him go at him with them.
Well, they got big giant mitts anyway. Big giant hands, right?
I know, but I think if you bound an orangutan's hands,
You don't think he'd
I
be-
don't think they punch. I think they grab and they rip.
Well, by the way, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Make that happen, Jake Paul. I'll pay.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a
yeah.
pay-per-view I would
Yeah,
watch.
and get the stream right, Netflix, because if the stream breaks out on Dunstan v. Paul, I am going to be upset.
We are
man.
mad about that.
Yeah.
And you know what? You
Yeah.
can't make Dunstan sign a contract that says he won't do combinations.
Yeah,
either.
he can't consent to that. He's
Yeah,
just a
like
monkey.
Mike Tyson. We know that crap.
Yeah, we
was
know
rigged.
that crap,
Because
yeah.
Mike Tyson only threw one punch at a time, so many times
Yeah,
during that.
yeah,
fight.
get out of here, man.
Yeah, he didn't throw any
We got
combinations.
fleeced again by
We got
them.
yeah. I bet you we won't get fleeced by Dunstan.
Dunstan.
Make it happen,
yeah,
man.
Yeah.
And Dunstan wouldn't even charge you. I bet you just give that sucker a couple
A
of
bushel
bananas.
of bananas and he's
you're
good to go.
set.
Yeah.
You're all set.
That's pure profit right there.
Now of course, I don't know that they'll ever do that, right? Because they can't consent to that.
Yeah.
I mean, not yet. I mean, they think they're changing all kinds of consent laws now. Maybe they'll get there eventually. where you can fight it.
Well, I mean, if Planet of the Apes is anywhere near where we are right now, we could
Yeah.
have Caesar v. Paul not too long from
dude,
now.
there you go.
Dude.
Oh, no. Caesar's too big. We'd have to get a little capuchin.
Yeah.
But then if a capuchin had a good trainer, I see what you're saying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Get a capuchin that can talk
Yeah,
now.
get Pacquiao's trainer on the phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, man.
Because
Come on, man.
you give a capuchin some time and a little bit of training with a good
Yeah.
trainer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But see, that's why I would want Dunstan. Dunstan's got the star power.
that's true.
Right?
Yeah, he's been in the movies.
Just some no-name,
yeah,
you
nobody
know,
cares
some
about
no-name
that.
chimpanzee.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
It's got to be, he's got to have a name. He's got to have, it's the marquee's got to look good,
And
right?
Dunstan was an orangutan too, wasn't he?
I'm pretty sure. For anybody who's lost
Yeah.
and you haven't seen the movie Dunstan Checks In,
Yeah.
do yourself a favor.
Yeah.
It's got Pee Wee Herman in it. It's got George Costanza in it. It's got everybody that matters in
Yeah.
it.
Well, not Pee Wee Herman, but Paul Rubens.
Paul Rubens.
Yeah.
And obviously not George Costanza, but
Yeah.
Jason Alexander, right?
And it's Jason Alexander with a really
Good piece.
Good piece, yeah. And Paul Rubin plays an entirely different character. You get to see the range of his acting skills.
Yeah. Should have won the Oscar. Get out of here, man.
Any other animals you want to cover? I mean,
my follow-up question is, and I think a lot of people ask this, so it might be beat to death, animal v. animal, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because, people are like a tiger versus a bear, right? Right? Or a gorilla. So here's my hot take.
Okay.
Ain't no animal in the animal kingdom going up with a silverback gorilla.
I'll fight you on that.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think a Siberian tiger that weighs 1,000 pounds and is 12 feet long and can jump from the ground up 12 feet high.
Yeah.
And it's a tiger. It's lightning quick. I don't care what animal you place against. You can place I think now the one that might give it a challenge. I don't think a silverback could do anything with that. I think that tiger would just.
I disagree. Because I think the silverback gorilla, sure, it might get thrown around, it might get bit up, but as soon as that gorilla gets a hold of him, it's over. He's snapping necks and he's pounding him.
I hear what you're saying,
because the gorilla is just as big and meaty as the Siberian tiger is.
I don't think gorillas are 1,000 pounds. I think they might be 250.
Aren't they?
Maybe 250, 300.
No.
By the way, I'm going to jump a little bit here.
Okay.
But Shaq says, and you've heard this, when he shows up and at gorilla cages, they stop, and he says they stare at him like he's a challenge to them. So they know, they're looking at him, and his size alone is making them question whether they want to.
So you're saying a silverback is
250, 300 pounds?
Yeah.
A full-grown Siberian tiger. And keep this in mind.
Sure.
Imagine a house cat, how quick they are.
Yeah, you're right.
Now throw that into a 1,000-pound animal.
Yeah. See, we'll have to do some fact checking in between episodes because I have a hard time believing that a full-grown silverback gorilla is only 300 pounds.
You think a silverback is the king of all animals?
Yeah.
I mean, as far as, a hippo? Does it stand a chance against a hippo? Because apparently hippos kill out like giant crocodiles all the time.
I think hippos kill more humans than anything in the animal kingdom too.
Aggressive? And they got them big giant mouths and teeth. They know how to use it.
What does the gorilla grab onto to break? Because he can't.
And I would suggest that maybe even that gives in my mind, Siberian tiger against a hippo is a challenge for both of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I think a tiger would probably go after, but how do you get a hold of it?
You know what I think the conclusion that we're drawn to is?
What's that?
I think the hippo is the king.
The hippo might be the king.
Because it's got no weakness in its game. It's got no vulnerabilities.
What if a rhino pierces it with his horn, though?
Yeah, but rhinos are. They got pretty charge.
Yeah, but they're not.
They got to get they got to get 15 yards of steam before they can do anything to you, I would suppose.
And some of those teeth on those hippos are probably just as big.
I think the hippo might be the king, man.
There you go, man. It's just kind of sad, though. It's not really a tough-looking animal. It doesn't look like it has. You want it to be. It's like professional boxing. You want the heavyweight champion of the world to be a physical specimen, and that's why I like Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
But he's kind of flabby, and it just doesn't sit well with me that he's not this just giant physical specimen of a man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right?
See, that's the reason I like him. That's the reason I like him so much.
Because he looks more like your average guy.
Yeah, because when he steps into the ring with this like ripped up dude,
and
it's almost like, obviously he looks nothing like me or you. Right. He's 6'5".
No, 6'9".
6'9", right?
Yes.
He's not the common man.
Right.
But when you see him fight these other dudes, you're like, that's the common man king right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just a highly skilled tactical boxer. Yeah. I see what you're saying, but to me, the king should look like Hercules, somehow or another.
I suppose.
Yeah. And so that's why I like the idea of, if it wasn't, in my mind, the Siberian tiger, I'd like it to be a silverback because it looks like a physical. But the hippo is just a big blob running around. It just doesn't feel right that it's the king,
Yeah.
I don't want it to be the king, but
I
it's
think
hard
it might be.
I think
Because Tyson Fury is the king.
yeah. Do you think you could take a little baby hippo?
No, because the mama hippo's right behind him. Right? Because I would do one of those moves where I put my hand on it and it was, swinging at me.
It's just
right, and then the
yeah.
mama hippo will be like, "Who's messing with my baby?" Right, and then
You
that
know the
hippo would
mom's
jack me up.
well, you're in a cage, so I guess the mama hippo could just tear the
She'd
cage
get through
down.
that cage. Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
so the baby hippo,
Yeah.
you're not fighting it just because of
No.
your next fight is against the mama.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
that's reasonable.
Yeah. That
This
might be
whole-
the most reasonable thing we've said this entire episode.
This whole
Actually,
conversation
has been ludicrous. Yeah,
which is why it's a fun
It's a good
conversation
question,
to have.
yeah.
And it's interesting because I think if you ask different people this, you'd have different logical.
No, that's my
conclusions.
favorite thing about this question is because I know there are delusional dudes out there that are like, I could take a tiger,
Yeah.
right? Some
Yeah.
Monster Energy drink, backwards cap sipping dude, who's got.
Well, you
Yeah.
just lost half the people in my watch.
I'm thinking like a Fred Durst looking dude with a soul patch, It's like I
Yeah.
could take a tiger. Yeah, with prep time, I could take a tiger.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah,
you could.
yeah. A bear I could take on.
I've seen it done on Gladiator, so I think I can do it.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure
Taking away the tools is a big deal.
I know. Because on the edge they kill a bear too, which you can see it being done
Also,
the
if
way
you
they
haven't
do
seen
it.
The Edge with Anthony Hopkins,
Go see that. That's
do
awesome.
yourself a favor. Go watch The Edge.
Yeah,
movie-
that and Dunstan Checks In, two entirely
That's your
different
homework
movies.
for the week.
Yes,
yeah.
But both of them are worth your time.
Both of them are worth your time for sure.
And it'll give context to this, very enlightening.
Dude, after that
Conversation.
Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight, we might not be far off from that dude fighting
Some sort
an
of
animal with star power. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about animals with star power.
Yeah.
I mean, Lassie's nowhere to be found anymore.
No, Lassie's not around. He might want to fight like the Georgia Bulldog or something like that.
So
He's-
mascots.
yeah.
There you go. So the Georgia Bulldog is
Versus
on that
Jake
list.
Paul. Yeah.
Bevo, the
Bevo,
Longhorn.
yeah, the Longhorn.
I don't think that Longhorn would fight back. It seems pretty tame. What about
Yeah.
the Colorado Buffalo? It's kind of small. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a little buffalo because I don't think they can.
A buffalito.
Yeah. It's a mini buffalo,
Yeah.
but it's still big.
Sure.
But it's not like a giant.
Do buffaloes
bison.
fight back?
Oh yeah, I don't think buffaloes are passive. Now,
Okay.
What's the difference in a buffalo and a bison? By the way, there's probably not a difference, is there? I think it's the same thing. Maybe
I don't
bison
know.
is the plural.
Don't bison have like longer horns that come out?
I think bison is the plural of buffalo. You don't ever hear buffaloes.
Yeah, but I don't think. Yeah, it's not like mouse to mice kind of deal.
I think it might be.
All right, we'll have to check.
I don't know.
We'll have to check.
I'm so wrong on this one. I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't
There's
think
a difference in a
I'm not
bison and a
sure.
buffalo.
There's for sure is.
But this
yeah.
buffalo, it took like 6 dudes with ropes to
Uh-huh.
run this buffalo around the field,
Yeah.
and it looked like they were at this little, and it was probably
Yeah.
5.5 feet at its height, at
Okay.
the top of its shoulders.
Yeah.
And they
But
were
buffalo
still,
is also one of those like pack animals that fight, like they go group together kind of deal.
well, but I think if you isolated one, I don't think you could take a buffalo. It would just trample you.
No.
Just the size alone.
Are there any other famous animals that like aren't in? Not like mascots, but I'm trying to think of other like.
Well, we might as well jump into cartoons.
By the way,
then, right?
the bear from The Edge was in another movie we watched recently, and I can't remember what it was. His name's Bart the Bear, and he's
So-
like
So he is famous. So Bart.
yeah, Bart the Bear.
Yeah, he's not
Man,
fighting.
I'm trying to
Bart.
remember what it was. No, Bart would take him out, dude. That Kodiak bear, get out of here.
Yeah, what if they put gloves on it and muzzled it? He'd still maul him. Just the size alone.
I don't think that's a fair. That's of course that's essentially what they did to Tyson. They basically muzzled him, didn't they?
They pretty much did. Yeah.
Dang.
They strapped his arms down and said you can't throw combinations, and
Yeah.
said if you hurt Jake Paul, you lose 20 of the 21 million. Or
Yeah,
they had to
yeah.
have some.
They had to
and they
have,
couldn't
man.
do that with Jake because he wouldn't sign that contract. Jake the Bear.
Well, Bart the Bear.
Bart the Bear. What
Yeah,
about
yeah.
some cartoon animals? You think there's a
That might be a conversation for another day. I think we're getting a little too far away. You know what I mean?
yeah okay.
Yeah. In a future
Good
episode,
call.
we'll do Bugs Bunny versus.
There we go.
Dang, who would Bugs would mess
Unbeatable.
anybody up? Because I was about to say Mickey Mouse. I was trying to do the Warner Bros. Versus Disney deal,
no,
but
Bugs don't stand a chance.
yeah, Mickey's definitely a pacifist.
Yeah. I would assume so.
Yeah.
And I'm not to mention Pinky and the Brain. Get those two together, they're trouble. You know what I'm saying?
Bugs versus the Animaniacs?
The Animaniacs. There's 3 of those guys.
No.
And they'll jack somebody up.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Okay.
We might be
I
done
think
with
we've gone off the beaten path. This conversation was already off the rails, and I think we've gone even farther off the rails somehow.
There you go. So that's a conversation to have with your buddies.
Sure.
Or your dad. Or your son.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who do you think you could? What animals could you take in a cage match?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Interesting. And some of the ones we've talked about, you might think you could take, huh? Or not?
I think I mess up an ostrich. That's the one I'm pretty dang sure
and
about.
I'm not so sure, man. Ostrich, man. I don't know. Well,
something in the eyes is not making you feel too.
Yeah. I'll have to do some research.
Ostriches do have some crackhead energy, kind of.
They do have crackhead energy.
That's like the Patrick Beverly of the of the animal world.
We need to tag Patrick Beverly in this one. Yeah, a little dude, but really, really scrappy.
Yeah.
Patrick Beverly is the crackhead of the NBA, and the
I don't want to say
ostrich.
that because I would have at some point like to sit down with him if we ever get there.
Yeah.
And I figure calling him that may not.
Well, you said
bode
energy,
too well.
not the
energy.
Energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the way I feel about ostrich. They tend to.
They're wily.
Yeah, they got something going on wrong with them.
Yeah.
And
they lay those big old eggs, so you know they got pain tolerance.
That's for sure. That's for sure. I've seen a real one of those, by the way. You can't.
Boy, that'd make a big omelet, wouldn't it?
I hear it's just like one egg will feed like 15 people because it's just so protein packed too.
Dang.
How do we get on this? But
I don't know.
anyway.
Okay.
All right.
We probably got to wrap it up for today.
Next time. There you
cool.
go.
See you guys.
Bye bye.